As we traverse the universe, we discover that things known are unknown, and things that we didn't know we knew, we now know we know now. The things that we don't yet know are not things we know yet, until we will have known them at some point, which we do not know. What the heck is this malarkey? Come on, man. What the heck are you talking about? Let me just tell you something. I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and what you just said doesn't make a lick of sense. Mr. President, Popeye President, if I may interject here. Interject? Come on, man. Why don't you just say you're gonna interrupt? Why don't I interject your face with my fists? I got Malar and Key right here. Why don't I just knock you out in outer space? Why don't I put you in the cosmos? You hear me, Neil deGrasse Tyson? You ain't no Tyson. You're not Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Hey, gentlemen. What's going on here? Why is there all this fighting? You truly belong here among the cosmos, both of you. So quit the fighting, and I'm gonna stand here in a suggestive manner, which is just a kind of a weird, suggestive manner. What's even happening? Why do I have all these teeth? What? Look at these stars. Let me tell you something. You ever deal with car insurance? I've got to work on my Lando impression. Let's go over to the weather report. Hey everybody, this is Carl Weathers in the Predator Weather Report, featuring the Action Jackson AccuPredator Doppler Weather Radar Doppler Radar Weather Radar, the green and the red and everything on the chart behind me. It's got Cardi B, it's got a Predator. Look at that Predator over there. Oh man, that Predator's going crazy. They got some crazy predators in that forecast. You gotta wanna walk. Look out! Look out for that predator! Hey, predator, you truly belong here among the clouds. That reminds me, the clouds. There's clouds coming in. There's cloud coverage. Cloud City. Turns out I do the weather sometimes on Cloud City at Bespin, the gas planet Bespin. Turns out cloudy. Cloudy every day. The opposite of Los Angeles. Let me just say something, Predator. From this angle, you are truly magnificent. I find Lando highly inappropriate. Lando is saying all kinds of things that I don't approve of. But, you know, Lando gonna Lando. I'm just gonna let Lando say what Lando gonna say. Come on, it can't be as suggestive of what I sing about. My lyrics. Your lyrics are straight fire, Cardi B. Nobody brought you into this situation, but we appreciate your contribution to popular culture. Because your lyrics, they're straight fire. Be damned, people that don't like your music, Cardi B. Cardi B, you're singing on a whole new level. You're singing for yourself, and you're singing for in a way that people haven't quite sang yet. I mean, everybody sings about. Every song is a love song. Let's just say it. So that's why my song WAP, that's a love song. I know it. It sure is. This predator, you got this predator all screaming his lungs out. That song's straight fire. You got that new song, Too Up. It goes like this. Why don't you sing it for us, Cardi? Wait, when it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck, then it's up, then it's stuck, then it's up, and it's stuck, and it's up, and it's up, and it's up, and it's stuck, and it's up, and it's up, and it's up, and it's stuck, and it's up, and it's stuck, and it's up, it's up, up, and it's stuck, and it's up, and it's stuck, up, 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 up. Then it's stuck. Those clouds, they're gonna be stuck up there. It's cloudy. It sure is. But from my perspective, it's all clear. This has been the Carl Weathers Predator Weathers Report featuring the Action Jackson AccuWeather Predator Doppler Radar Forecast, Cardi B, and Lando Calrissian. Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Aristotle Full Throttle, and you know, sometimes you gotta practice your comedy. Some people need lots of practice with their comedy. You know, it's funny. I was in a, I'm gonna tell this story. If you guys are missing this show, you're missing out. You're gonna hear some stories today. I dated a woman one time. I need you to employ your suspension of disbelief. This is true. I did this one time. And she told me, one time I was joking. I was saying a joke. I don't know if you ever watch me on the show, but I joke a lot. Most of the things I say are absurd. I would say that my philosophy is of the absurdist branch of philosophy, in that I don't take anything seriously. I'm sorry. I mean, some things in the moment I can take seriously. When serious things need to be dealt with, I can negotiate them. However, you know, myself, I can't do it. I can't take myself seriously. I can't take situations seriously. I got hit. My car got rear-ended last week. I got very angry. Oh, I was very serious. But you know, what can you do but laugh? Life is about laughing at your own misfortunes. Life is about I think we get caught up in this. It's a very philosophical day today on Aristotle Full Throttle, on account of, you know, it just happens my name is a philosopher's name, but I have my own philosophy. I don't agree with Aristotle, but I have my own philosophy. It's kind of interesting that, you know, we live in a world where, like, you know, everything is so serious all the time. That's true. That's true. There are things that need to be taken seriously. There are things that need to be dealt with. But if you take yourself seriously, I mean, throw yourself off, go stand on a curb and jump off. Because, you know, listen, to me, that's funny. If you told me that, I'd say, haha, good joke. I think there's a lot of things that it's hard to laugh at right now. There are a lot of things that are hard to laugh at, but we find ourselves often in this predicament, particularly lately in life, on account of, you know, this worldwide pandemic, and also the unrest in, say, Afghanistan, for instance. There's no two ways to cut around this whole situation. It's a lot of people in pain, and that's why I don't take myself seriously. Because at the end of the day, none of this matters. And there are people's lives at stake in other places, but also at the end of the day, metaphorically, on the sense that the universe will end at some point. You know, just have some fun. Just hang out, have a good time while you're here. That's what it's about. Life is, if you're stressed about life, then, you know, there are many mental health counselors and services that you could seek, and I encourage that you do. I do them myself. It's important to maintain your mental and physical health. These are important, the most important things. And the way I maintain my own personal mental health is I try not to stress out too much. I try to make a joke of everything. Instead of worrying and stressing and being angry and frustrated, I go, look how absurd this is. Look how absurd reality is. We are on a blue dot hurtling through space right now. That's a fact, Jack. Or, if you're a flat earther, we are on a pancake with ice walls right now, and we cannot escape. The sun is merely a flashlight. And if you're a flat earther, I was gonna make a joke about, like, I have a funny pointy hat for you to wear. Because, you know, dunce cap. That's the joke. The point I'm trying to make is, don't worry about a thing that hasn't happened yet, necessarily. If you can help it. A lot of times we spend our time worrying about a thing and creating the feeling that we fear that we might get if we do a thing that is very difficult and scary. So we create the feeling ahead of time. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, uh-oh, I've got the big thing to do, the big presentation next Wednesday, and then we stress and we worry and we're nervous. That's normal. Problem is, we fear so much that we like burn ourselves out. I burn myself out. So for instance, when I first started playing rock and roll shows, I would get so nervous. I'd get so nervous for weeks. Like if we had a rock and roll show 2 weeks from Saturday, I'd be nervous for 3 weeks. I'd be nervous, stressed every day. Like, oh, we got a show. And then I shortened the period. I was like, okay, we've got a show in 1 week. Now I can start to be nervous. And then I shortened the period, and then I was like, okay, the show is in 2 days. So I have time to practice a few times to make sure that I'm prepared for the show. Now I know that I'm prepared enough for a show at least a day or two ahead of time. So now I can wait until a day or two ahead of time to get nervous for a show. So now I know that. And then it got so close to the point where I didn't get nervous for a show until about 20 minutes before we went on. That was like, so I'd shortened the amount of time I'd be nervous. And the amount of time and the energy and the worry and the scared and the fear and all of that is what happens right before the big playing of the show. The playing of the show is like, that all evaporates. Playing the show, being live, going out there in front of all the people and doing what you know, what you've practiced this whole time. That part is not as scary. Ironically. So you got to remember that at the end of the day, that when you do the thing that you're worried about, sometimes it's not as nerve-wracking, nervous-inducing. It's not as scary as the thought of it beforehand. Thank you. I worried about doing this show for years. I never did no live streams before now. Before the pandemic. I never did no live streaming. Did like one a week sometimes. I did one a week every 10 weeks apart. Which isn't one a week, I don't think. It's like a few a year. I was gonna do 52 last year. I said every weekend I'm gonna do one live stream. That was my goal for YouTube. It turns out I did like 300 or something like that. So maybe 250. I did a lot. But there's so much more yet to do. There's so much more that needs to be done. Let me tell you that story. So I was dating this woman and I was joking with her on the phone when we first started dating, and I made a joke and she didn't perceive the comedy. She didn't hear the Admittedly, I will say things to the general public and it's almost like I need to gauge a crowd sometimes. If I'm on set and there are 5 people standing around the water cooler or whatnot, what they call craft services on a movie set. If there's like 5 people standing around crafty and you say a joke that is absurd, like I'll say, oh, do they have enough bananas for my ears? Or, you know, I don't know. You just say something that doesn't make any sense. There will be a significant portion of the population that will not perceive the absurdity in what you are saying, I've noticed. Which is funny to me. That is funny to me. When I say something completely absurd and people are not, they're just like, what? That's hilarious to me. When I hear someone say something absurd, I'm like, oh, okay, they get it. They're they're pretty tuned into the fact that we're just having fun here, guys. We're just passing through, as George Harrison and all of the Hare Krishnas would say. We're just passing through. So I'm saying this joke. I'm just on the phone. We're chatting, flirting, and I said something, and she said, "What was that?" And I said, "Oh, I was just kidding." And she said, "Are you practicing your comedy?" I said, I'm not, it's not a, you don't like, not like practicing comedy. I'm just joking with you. I'm just saying a joke. I'm saying something that I found funny in the moment aloud. And a thought entered my head. I used my rib muscles and my diaphragm to press air through my vox, my vocal apparatus, and flopped my lips and tongue around to create sounds, and my teeth, that I thought were funny. In my head. I thought if other people heard the sounds that were in my head, they would also laugh. No, it's not true. Some people will say, "Oh, you must be practicing comedy." They don't get it. And that's, you know, for me, that's not for me. Thank you. That's not for me, I said. I don't I mean, what am I, Chris Rock? Am I practicing comedy? What? I'm just saying that I'm doing an observational joke. Could you imagine living your life? And you might do this, I don't know. Tell me what this is like. Do you live your life with absent of humor? See, this is the thing. I feel lucky as a kid. For some reason, I just, you know, maybe it was I had to entertain myself as a kid for a while, perhaps. So I found enjoyment. I found my own enjoyment out of observing the world and thinking how silly it all is. And I think it's funny. I think the world is a joke. Just like the Joker. This is my Joker origin story, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for witnessing it. Here we are. Today we'll be talking about the... What? Oh! What are you even talking about here? Look at this place. Ah. Where's Poe? Poe. We're all here. Poe. Where's Princess Leia, by the way? Oh, she's dead? Alright. Lando.
Son of a... You done messed up! Get out of my goddamn room before I break my foot off in your insubordinate and churlish.
Lando is my favorite. What are you guys doing today? I'm gonna go cruising with the top down on the rental. Let me tell you this story, by the way. I got stories. Yesterday. This might infuriate you the way it infuriated me. I actually recorded this, but I forgot to. I recorded the phone calls. I'm gonna record the phone calls. If I don't record the phone calls, I will do them live on the air. I will call my car insurance live on the air. Not my car insurance, the car insurance company that I'm dealing with that is doing repairs on my car right now, which is in the shop. I will call them on the air, and you will witness how crappy they are. It's kind of amazing how crappy they are. I think it's incredibly hilarious. Maybe we should call them today. If they call during the show, I will take the call, and we will listen to the conversations I have with the car insurance company that is paying for the repairs for my car, because I was rear-ended. The back end of my car is smashed up. The lights and the brake lights and the reverse lights and the signals, all smashed. Everything's smashed up. The guy was going really fast. He was driving a pickup. My whole lift gate, back of my car, it's a hatchback, gone. Just crushed. It's just sitting there. Just sitting there in traffic. Boom! So I says to them, yeah, so you guys are going to pay for my repairs and give me a car in the meantime, right? And they said, yeah. Yeah, well, we'll accept 100% liability. And we will give you you'll have to bring your car. Now, here's the fun part about getting in a car accident. If you're just joining us, here's the fun part. Let me just change the title of the show here. Here we go. Where is it? T. Fun with car crashes. So I'm sitting there. They tell me this. You need to take your car to a shop first and drop it off at the shop first before we can rent a car to you in the meantime. But before you drop your car off at the shop and before we can rent a car to you in the meantime, you get a rental for you, the shop at which you are to drop your car off needs to order all of the parts on the estimate that we've provided first. Now, herein lies the dilemma that I just confronted them on the phone. I had the phone call. I need to maybe when this is all said and done, I'll make like a little video on my experience dealing with Viking Car Insurance of Wisconsin. Terrible company, by the way. Bad. Do not get Viking Car Insurance of Wisconsin. Or if you have it, I'm sure it's cheap. But if you ever get into a car accident with someone who has Viking Car Insurance of Wisconsin, I'm sorry. Do not deal with Erica Gabriel. She's a terrible claims adjuster. She was very horrible and unhelpful. I told her so, and we got into a fight. So this is what happened. I said to them, no car shop will order all of the parts listed, which is like a dozen or so parts that I need, like at least a dozen or so parts. Totaling, by the way, the estimate is a total of $4,300. So they're telling the shop, you gotta order thousands of dollars worth of stuff first, sight unseen, and then we'll drop the car off. And then we'll rent a car to you. We'll get a car rental for you in the meantime. And I said, how do I get a shop to order all the parts? None of them will do that. And they were like, well, first, and also, here's my favorite part. It's kind of complicated, but because it's stupid. They said, you need to drop it off on a Monday so that your car's just not sitting there over the weekend. And I said, I need to drop my car off today. This was Tuesday. I was like, I need to drop my car off today. And you are going to get me a rental car today. Because that's how it works, see? And then they said, well, make sure that the shop has all the parts first and you gotta wait till Monday. And I was like, I'm not waiting all week before you give me a car rental. I cannot drive my car. And they said, well, you said your car was drivable. I said my car goes vroom vroom. My car moves forward, it moves backwards. But as you could tell from the photos, the entire back end of my car is smashed up and that is not roadworthy. I will not take that car on the road and risk further damage and accidents because of the fact that none of the lights are properly functioning. And then they said, then the lady we just got into a shouting match. It was hilarious. I got into a shouting match with this lady. I said, you know what? You've been very unhelpful. Give me someone who I can talk to, who can resolve this for me immediately. And she said, I've been very helpful. I was like, no, you haven't. I've sit here with you for a week now, and so far you've given me no solutions on how to get my car fixed. And you're supposed to be paying for it and covering it. And she said, I've been extraordinarily helpful. You said your car was drivable. And I was like, no, you should know the difference between drivable and roadworthy, as this is your area of expertise. Please give me your manager. She said, my manager is not here. I said, give me someone else then. Give me someone other than you, because you've been very unhelpful. It got nasty. Cause she got nasty with me. She was passive aggressive all week, like treating me like I'm an idiot. And I'm like, listen, my car got smashed. You're supposed to pay for it. Stop putting everything on me as if I'm to know how this process goes. I'm not getting out there getting rear-ended every day. You're taking phone calls every day about people getting rear-ended. What's the process? Tell me what to do next, because everything you've told me doesn't seem to be working. So then so she says to me, it's great. She goes, oh, she said, I've been very helpful and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, Dad, you need to reflect, because that's a delusion. You need to put me on the phone with somebody, your manager. So she didn't. She hung up on me because it got nasty. She hung up on me. And then I called back and I said, give me Erica Gabriel's manager. Give me her manager. And you know what? Magically, they instantly transferred me to her manager, who I had asked her to do, and she didn't. But apparently her manager was there. She lied to me. So Bob, over at Viking Car Insurance of Wisconsin, I was talking to him, and I said, hey Bob, got a problem. You're telling me to drop my car off at a shop, but you're telling me to get the shop to order all of the parts for my car first before I drop off the car, before you can rent me a vehicle. This is circular logic, because I can't get anybody to buy thousands of dollars worth of car parts sight unseen. And they were like, well, we can't pay for your rental unless this, and I was like, well, I can't drop it off unless there's a shop. And they were like, well, you need to drop it off at the shop. I was like, I can't drop it off at the shop. You keep telling me they need to order all the parts. Shops tell me they're not going to order all the parts. They need to look at the car first before they can order the parts. They need to look at the car and the estimate and then order the parts. So I'm going to drop my car off and you're going to get me a rental today. That's how it's going to go, Bob. And he said, he's like, well, clearly I'm looking at the damage. You said, well, he was very clear in not blaming me. Because Erica Gabriel kept blaming me. She's like, you said your car was drivable. And I said, no, I said my car can drive. It can move around, but it's not roadworthy. And then this guy, Bob, said, oh, well, clearly looking at these photos, Bob was very careful not to implicate me in the error in how the claim was filed, because he said, oh, well, clearly looking at this photo, any claims adjuster would know that this car is not drivable. I was like, yes. He's like, this car might even be a total loss. We might have to settle. Well, that which was not settling, but it's one of those things. So I said, so Bob, what do I do? He's like, well, I can't tell you what to do. And I'm like, you got to tell me what to do, because I can't do anything right now and I need a car today. I was supposed to work yesterday. I didn't end up working. I'm working tomorrow, FYI. So I was like, this is Tuesday. I had work lined up for Wednesday, but it moved to Friday. So I needed a car. And I was like, Bob, you got to tell me what I need to do. He's like, well, you've got to maybe take it to the shop. And I'm like, well, you're telling me I can't take it to the shop unless the shop orders all the parts, and I can't take it to a shop until Monday. I'm not waiting. And then finally, they agreed that I could drop the car off, and then the shop can look at it and then deal with them directly about the parts, and they got me a rental. And here's the funny thing. I called Enterprise, right? And Enterprise said, they got you down for an economy car. Do you want to upgrade that? As Grogu as my co-pilot, I said, yeah, why don't you throw a little extra? Why don't you give me a little extra on this rental car? I said, they paid for it? They said, yeah. They seemed the price range. So I called the car insurance, and I said, you guys got me down for an economy car. I would like an equivalent or a larger car, midsize. And they said, okay. Well, we're not supposed to do that. Why? Do you want a bigger car? I'm like, I want a car the same size as my car that you smashed up. And they're like, what? It's not just because you... How about a pickup truck, they said. They said that to me. And I was like, I just called the lot. They have other vehicles available. Can you please not be dicks about this? Please? And then they agreed. And then I went to the lot and they rented me a convertible. So right after the show today, gonna go cruise the PCH with the top down. Why not? And now we play music. What's with these homies dissing my girl? Why do they got a front? What did we ever do to these guys that made them so violent? And you know, nobody knows. Ooh, ooh. And you know, this is good. This is spoken word Weezer. Thank you. All right, well, that's enough for today. I think we did it. I think we covered it all. Snakes! Let's play every sound effect. Wonderful day. So remember, guys, don't deal with Viking car insurance in Wisconsin. Remember that life is not so serious. Remember, we're on a blue marble hurtling through space. So whatever Erica Gabriel is doing over at Viking car insurance of West Wisconsin, doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I was very angry though. I was angry because she was disrespectful. She's mean. I should read you the email correspondence. I'll read you the email correspondence. It's just gonna make my blood boil. I'm gonna read it real quick. She made me angry. She said to me, Aristotle, you told me when I spoke with you that your vehicle is drivable. That's a very different condition than non-drivable, which requires another approach in claims. And I'm like thinking, well, that's your job, lady. Right? You and Bob? She said, however, I set up a rental. However. It's like passive aggressive as all get out. You see what I'm saying? Passive aggressive. She said, however, I set up a rental for you. She was mean. She's a mean lady. She said, call them at 323 whatever for reservation. They'll be able to get you into a rental. You'll need to drop your car off for repairs today. It's like, okay. Because in order for me to get the rental, I needed to drop the car off. She said, the shop needs to have the parts. And I'm like, so I'm gonna have to like drop off my car at a shop that has 24 parts for a Ford C-Max. That all they have to have that already. I have to go find a shop in Los Angeles that has all of the. I bet you the Ford dealership doesn't have all the parts. Then she said the shop needs to have all the parts. If your vehicle sits at the shop waiting for the parts, we won't pay for the rental during that time. See, this has frustrated me. And I said to them, I said, no, you will. You will pay for the rent. You will. If your vehicle sits at the shop waiting for the parts, we won't pay for it. This is standard process in insurance, so your shop should be aware of needing the parts beforehand. It's not. I literally talked to the shop, and they said, no, that does no. That was their answer, was no. And then I said, my response to her was, no.
And then I said, drivable is different than roadworthy, as I'm sure you can comprehend since this is your area of expertise. See, now I got nasty, because she was being nasty with me. And I said, the semantic difference is this is where I stopped taking life seriously. I said, the semantic difference is like saying, technically rocks are edible, but it's not advisable to eat them, lady. I didn't say lady. Guy. Dude. Bro. But so I said, I told you my car is drivable because it still goes vroom vroom and moves. But make no mistake, I will not risk driving my car on the road as it doesn't have properly functioning signals and taillights. Which, by the way, this person ordered for me from the pictures that I sent them. They ordered all of these parts, so they should be like thinking in their head, I ordered the taillights and the signals and everything that I looked at and I made the claim. I ordered all of those parts. But I'm also telling this guy to drive his car on the road, even though I knowingly ordered brake lights and signals. Or like at least said that this car needs brake lights, signals, and reverse lights. I'm the one who said that this car needs items in order for it to be drivable. But now I'm also blaming you, gaslighting you, telling you you told me the car was drivable, even though I should know better, because that's literally my job. That's how the conversation went in my head, from my point of view, from what she was telling me. And then I said, I will not be paying for a red cent for any of these repairs, or any of the time my car stays at the shop. So that's clear. I said, you will be doing that, because, I'm not. And I said, you have accepted liability. The shops I've spoken with will not order the parts before dropping my car off. You will cover all the costs. I'm not mincing words here. Repairs and rentals for the duration, or I will need to escalate this claim in your company to someone who will agree to these requests, as this is entirely your client's fault. Thank you very much. Then they got back to me again. I'd like call this person. I kept calling them, and then they kept sending me an email. They didn't want to talk to me on the phone, but I got them on the phone one time, and then we got into a verbal spar. But she just didn't want to hear the fact that she messed up, and she was blaming it all on me, and I didn't like it. Anyway, goodbye everybody. See you tomorrow. See you Monday.